Hi, I'm Ned and I make games. This video is from my live stream over on twitch.tv/NedMakesGames, where I'm live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 p.m. US Eastern Time. I'd love to see you there. Alright. Hey everybody, I hope you've all had a great weekend. It's actually been about a week since I streamed last, because I've been out of town on a small little summer vacation. And yeah, that was pretty fun and relaxing, but I'm ready to get started. Hey, Gowie, how have you been? Good to see you here. Okay, so I'm going to work some more on the grass stuff today, I think. I'm pretty much done with the Zelda things we worked on last time, which I guess I'll show off real quick. Could be better, but hanging in there. Yeah. Sorry to hear that, but good to see you're okay. But yeah, so pretty much done with the Zelda showcase, I think. It turned out pretty well. Still, they must have had a really specific lighting setup in that screenshot. I don't know if anybody would remember, but there was a whole lot of highlights coming off the grass on this side of the hill. It's hard for me to replicate it, but I figured this looked good enough, or not good enough. It looked very good anyway, so I'm happy with it. A couple tweaks I've made since last stream was I made the grass blades fade out to the terrain color so they blend in better. And also they fade, basically the entire lighting algorithm fades out to this kind of light green color in the distance. And I can kind of, let me see, where is that? Oh yeah, so I can edit that here. Yeah, so the depth fade color. And I can change some distance values. And then, yeah, the terrain fade as well. I thought it looked pretty well, or pretty good. A couple other things I changed was I changed the way that translucency works a little bit. So before translucency just kind of had the diffuse color, but if you hold up something to a light, you can kind of see like, I don't really know the technical term, but a really strong light where the light just shines directly through the material. So I kind of tried to create that here with this smoothness property. So I can show you a little better on a test scene, but you can see like in this corner, the sun is shining through the grass, so it kind of does this cool little halo effect, and I can increase the intensity. Oh, thanks, Gowie. I'm pretty happy with it now. But let me show you. Another. So this is like my test scene, and if I take the oh yeah, the light and just make it shine directly from the horizon, so you can see the blowout effect here. And if I zoom down, and that's just from the sun shining directly through the grass. So I tried to emulate that. And yeah, you can change it with this, no, the fragment. I need the fragment version. So the smoothness property will change like how tight that light is. And then you can change how strong the blowout effect is as well. But anyway, so yeah, I've mostly did a lot of tweaks to translucency. I think it's turned out pretty good. Okay, and then also off stream, I made this other showcase, which I tried to do kind of more realistic grass and show off some of the density fading. So here I use a texture to fade the density of the grass as it goes into this kind of beach area. And I guess there's just not enough detail, or the camera's not close enough, but I actually modeled this grass off of like scans of actual grass blades, so you can kind of tell if I get really close, but I don't know. I just wanted to try it out, but it turned out not to really be needed because I don't think you can really tell from this far. But yeah, I thought this scene also turned out pretty well. So today I want to work on a third scene. Trying to do, well, I have two, I guess, sort of goals with this. The first is I want to show off like making multiple grass blades in one texture. And then I also want to show off a technique to, like, I don't know, have different textures on different areas of the grass field. How come in the scene view they all look, oh, it's just because I'm far away, but I was gonna say that they looked all stretched out. That's just because when you get to higher level of details, it increases the width of the grass blades so they kind of cover more area. But anyway, yeah, so I shouldn't be looking that close up there. So anyway, in order to do this, I want to make these little flowers look better. They're supposed to look like Texas bluebonnets, which I don't, when I was over where I used to live when I was little, these would grow out in the fields a lot, and so I think they're kind of pretty, so it'd be cool to recreate them. So I've been trying my hand at a substance design or material for that. So I think that's mostly what we'll be working on. It's not looking too bad right now. That's already, I mean, they're pretty stylized, so I don't have to get all the detail perfect. But one thing I don't like about them at the moment is they look really flat, especially compared to the grass blades. So yeah, and they need a little bit more color gradation, I think, and also the normal map isn't very good. Let's. They remind you of snapdragon flowers, but blue. I think they are kind of similar. I don't know if they're in the same family or what, but so a couple of things I need to add. Yeah, I need to fix the normal map, and then also these bluebonnets they have this white. I don't even do the stem at all at the moment, which I probably should add in. But when I do that, I need to make this little kind of light green cap on the top. It almost looks white when you see it from far. But what I wanted to try right now. Okay, let's clean this up. To really show that the normals on the flowers aren't very good, which is kind of what I want to try to fix right now. I'm going to change this shader just to output the normals. And okay. Okay, so it looks a little strange, but I think it's actually working fine. Why? Maybe I didn't do something correctly. Because I don't know why that's so green, because that would mean the normal's pointing upwards. Okay, so actually use this normal. Okay, I thought I've been messing with normals a lot today, so I'm not sure if I left this in an incomplete state. So I'm just going to try a couple things. Some sanity checks. Okay, so when I put in the normal fed into the fragments from the vertices, you can, yeah, it's not, something is wrong with it, I think, because it's all pointing upward. Maybe. Okay, yeah, I think this is why. Yeah, so when you have this deformation to 0, it uses the terrain normal, which obviously points up, and when you go like this, it uses the blade normal, which points, I guess, forward on the blade. So yeah, this is what I was more expecting, so I should have checked the material here. Oh yeah, so let's switch back to using the normal map. Okay, so now when you turn the normal map on, you can see kind of here. Okay, well, I don't know if the grass normal map is correct either, because I don't know why it's so green, because it shouldn't be pointing upwards. So yeah, I need to try to fix that. But also you can see here that the normal map for the flowers is really different than the grass, which shouldn't be so different. So obviously there's some problem there, which I need to try to fix. So yeah, so the blades are fine, I think, because, well, okay, so this is mostly red, which means it's pointing in the positive X direction, which I would expect. But I don't know why when you flip to the other side, it's so green. Oh, this time it's blue, but... Okay, I'm going to turn off wind because that will just complicate things. And is there any... Okay, turn off bend angle. It seemed like it wasn't even doing that anyway. Okay, so it does have curvature on, but... Okay, so that's fine. Maybe I just found another bug. So when I... Oh, okay, no, it was... I don't know what was going on. Oh, I think it just wasn't updating. Yeah, there's kind of a bug when you change stuff and you can't see it in the game view. It sometimes doesn't update the grass in the scene view. And I guess, okay, yeah, I should probably look into that at some point, but yeah, it's not the point of this stream right now. Okay, so yeah, so anyway, there's some problems with this normal map because like the blades, the normal shouldn't be so green, which means it is pointing upward. It should actually point outwards. And then and the Bluebonnets are just so starkly different than the grass blades, so okay, so first of all, okay, so I've had to really experiment with the normal map because Substance Designer doesn't really make it easy to do what I'm trying to do. Let's move to the grass. So basically what I want to do is take, so copy this blade, but give each blade like its own random normal vector. And I've been kind of trying to do it with this FX map. And then you can assign a color to each iteration of the blade that it places. And so what I do is I just try to pick a random value. Okay, yeah, thought I already found the bug, but no. So I pick a random value in the X direction, which is along like the horizontal. And then I set the, maybe that is the problem. Yeah, because I set the Y and the Z direction to 1, well actually the Y direction should be set to 0, shouldn't it? So yeah, that could be the issue, at least with this part. Not -1. Okay, so yeah. So on the direction or the tangent, we pick a random value and then, but we don't want to move it all on the bitangent or V direction. And then, yeah, so the outwards we just set to 1 and then normalize. And then we have to transform the normal into a color, which I do that by setting the float or multiplying it by 1/2 and then adding 1/2, because you have to remap it from -1 to 1 to 0 to 1. Okay, so I think that actually probably was the issue. I should have figured that out already. But there is an issue with this. You can see that since we just multiply, well, what it does, it multiplies that color by the template that's fed into it. So in the middle, since it gets darker, it kind of messes up the normal at that point. I could maybe fix it. Yeah, maybe. Okay, what I should probably do is take out this central rib. How can I do that? Okay, let's get rid of this node for a second. Ooh. I was using a channel shuffle, but this alpha merge I think is more obvious what's happening. So yeah. Although it doesn't really work for grayscale. Let's clean this up a little bit. You already spent today, so catch you around later. All right, Gowie, thanks for stopping by for a bit. Yeah, I'll try my best. Hopefully, this math won't wreck my brain tonight, but I should be good. But yeah, have a great night. Okay. All right. So I thought this would be cleaner, but unfortunately, it doesn't promote the grayscale to an alpha. So I guess I'll just use that channel or the grayscale to a color image automatically. So I'll just use a channel mixer like I was before. Or wait, what was it called? Channel shuffle. Okay. So yeah, what that thing does is it just lets you pick any channels on your image and assign them to something else. So this assigns the red channel of this grayscale to the red, green, and blue of the output, and then we take the alpha from the second input. Or it's actually inverted. Okay, so this is the alpha, and this is actually the color. Okay, so what I want to do is we need something slightly different for the normal FX map. So we want to use the same alpha channel, but I want to feed this into a levels node, and then we can try to get rid of this central rib by taking out all the contrast. Or I guess setting contrast super high. And then when we add the alpha back in, it should keep the same shape. Okay, so I think that's good. And then later on, I merged the normal. So we get the height map. And then I create another normal for that so I can get some edges. And then I merge them together right there. And that adds back in a little normal for the ribs. So I think that is fine. What's happening up here? Okay, I think I was trying to make the tops of the blades turn upwards a little bit, but I don't need to do that because there's built-in curvature into the actual mesh itself, so... Okay. So let's see if I fix the issue with the grass blades. I think I might have. So I gotta go back to... okay, well I guess I have the version that has no flowers, so I need to export that. Okay, so it's already set to go there. Okay, and then export the Bluebonnet, which will use this updated grass for its background. Okay, yeah, so that is better. The grass doesn't really have much green except on these edges that are pointing upwards, which makes sense. By contrast, yeah, the Bluebonnets are still messed up, but that's our next issue. Oh, what's going on there? That looks really ugly. Kind of like that on the grass too, but I guess just could be compression. I don't know if it'll show up in play mode. Hopefully not. All right, so let's now that we took care of that, let's try to fix the Bluebonnet. So I use the same type of idea here to try to, except it's a little more complicated because here I'm using an image that already has a normal, and then I try to put a random value on it. Or do I even do that here? Let me see. Okay, I do, but that doesn't really work because Substance Designer just multiplies these colors together and it doesn't actually reorient the normal. So I think I need to do a different technique. I think I need... yeah, so I've been thinking about this for a couple days, and I think what I have to do is do one FX map to do like a random orientation, and then another FX map that just places these normal images in the world, and then I have to use something called a pixel processor, which lets you basically run a shader over those two images, and it will combine those two normal vectors. At least that's my plan. The only annoying thing is that now if I edit anything about these FX maps, they'll get unsynchronized until I do the same thing in each. So I already had to do that twice, and now I'm going to have to do it in 3 separate FX maps, but I mean, you have to do it, you have to do it. Okay, so this FX map, I need to remove basically all this, but I guess before I do that, let's just copy this, so I'll have it for later use. Okay, so I think, yeah, we don't want to change this at all because it's just going to place these the normal maps of each individual flower onto an image. So I can see. I want to get rid of this. Can I just say reset? Okay, yeah. So now it won't change the color. And then in this one, so we don't need this connection anymore. Let's move that down. I don't know, it's kind of in the way. I don't know how these... I'm kind of anal about all these nodes being aligned with the grid. Okay, so this one is where we need to basically have like a randomly chosen normal vector for each flower. So the input image is actually just this mask image. So the same one. Okay. So like, I guess it'll just be what we use for the alpha down here. Is that working? I don't actually see anything on there, but maybe it's just because it's white. No, nothing is actually drawing. Yeah, so this is like the alpha mask for the albedo image. So I figured, I don't know why it's not drawing that. Oh, it's because it's in color mode, so I have to change it to grayscale, except I want it to stay in color mode because I want to output a color. So I guess I need to promote it to a color. Which I could just do, what is it? A gradient map? Okay, what? The wrong way. I need to clean up. It's starting to get pretty spaghetti graphic. Okay, so that already does something, except now there's no alpha, so they're kind of cut out. So, okay, so instead of doing a gradient map, let's do that channel shuffle. And okay, so that's fine. There's going to be a halo. No, that won't work, will it? Oh, wait, can't. Yeah, the input can just be a white image, and then we could just use this for the alpha. Okay, so let's try that. Alpha merge. Okay, so this can be the alpha. And then we want this to be just a white color. All right, there we go. So now if I edit this, okay, so again, I don't want them to, actually, this is going to be a little different because the normal for the flowers, they shouldn't really be random. They should be more based on its, because if we look here, I mean, they're kind of circular, so actually they have a pretty regular pattern. So maybe I shouldn't randomly place them at all. Okay, well, yeah, we'll think about that in a second. Okay, so yeah, set that actually to 0. Okay, so this. Okay, so now we have a random kind of orientation. Although, yeah, now I'm not sure. Do I actually want... Do I need to go through the trouble I'm about to do? Let's see. Yeah, they have this platter circular. Maybe I could just use this. All right, let's try it. Oh, right. I need to tell it to use the input image. Okay, so I don't like how it rotates around like that. But I might be able to fix that. And then for the background color, I just want it to be white. Or actually, I want the alpha to be 0. Okay, so let's play around with this a bit and see if I can get a nicer shape. Okay, so is this a number? Okay, that's kind of cool. So it does have kind of concentric rings, but I guess the real question is I need to get these to not rotate around the center. So I have to see if that can happen. All right, so position. Okay, so that's kind of a shame. You can't have a different radius on the X and Y. Like, cause we wouldn't want it to be as wide on this side. So maybe you can't use this, unfortunately. Okay, it's pretty interesting. Okay, so that's easy to turn off. It's a shame because this does everything I need except I can't change the scaling here. So maybe what I should do, this is kind of hacky, but let's see. So if I do a transformation 2D and half the width, okay, I don't need to turn off tiling. And then here, if I double the width, so set the size to 0.2. Oh, yeah, wrong one. Okay, so that works out. But I guess is that the correct pattern I want? I mean, it's not exact. Because it's more like a Fibonacci spiral. You could probably get that work somehow, but okay. Um, this doesn't seem to actually be very random. I guess it is a little bit, but mostly seems to just shrink the whole thing. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. Maybe if I think it might be better if I just had one ring though. Or if I had, there'd be less in the central ring. Which I think you can do. I thought I saw it before. Position, okay, pattern it out. Okay, no, it seems like there's always the same amount in each ring. Which is also kind of a shame. I guess I could just increase that a little bit. No, see how it looks at different seeds. Okay, not bad. Although I don't know. Okay, I think it's fine. Oh, so the problem with this one actually is since I have to do this squish thing, if I add any rotation, then they're gonna get skewed, aren't they? Yeah. Okay, so that's kind of ugly. Okay, so I guess just because of that, we'll maybe stick with this FX map. How can I mean, I guess if I really wanted to get fancy, I could try to do that Fibonacci spiral. Okay, but anyway, now that we tried that out and have ruled this out, we can, I'll notice to stick with the FX map and we can get as fancy or as not fancy with the positioning of the flowers as I want. Anyway, okay, so let's go back to messing with the normal. So I don't think we'll need this, but I guess I'll leave it for now. So now what I want to do is I have this normal map for each individual blossom, as well as a random normal that I want to basically add to this. So to do that, I think I need to use a pixel processor, which again, you can use it basically to run a shader over this image. So I'll output both into it and then we'll edit the pixel function. Okay, so this is I haven't worked extensively with these, so excuse me if I do something wrong. But what is this input? I guess I don't really need it. There's no output in this function. Okay. Oh, yeah, it was yeah, that was the output node, so I remember now. So what I need to do is get basically the current UV for this pixel, which is given by this position. And then, excuse me, we can sample color. So you input into the UV, and then we want to sample the first image, which is our random normal vector. And then the second image is basically the normal map. So we just need to add these together and then normalize the normal. Let's see how that looks. Oh yeah, but before we add it, we also have to remap. Do they have an easy direction to normal? This function returns a normal map color that matches the direction provided. Okay, so maybe that's what I want to do. But can you go the other way around? Let's see. Maybe there's one like that. Substance designer direction to normal. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's not too helpful. Okay. Well, I guess we'll do it ourselves. But yeah, this is maybe something that would be useful for me to make for myself if I'm gonna do this kind of thing. But actually, maybe I'll do that right now. Let me think. Forget, how do you add your own? So it's function graph, I think. But first, I guess I want to make a new package with a function graph. Okay, and then I'll rename this. I'll just call it unpack normal. Okay, and it's just gonna have me save it. I think I put it. I have a library of substance stuff. Let's call this normal functions. Okay, so unpack normal. So this will take in. We'll get an input. I forget, how do I define an input for this? I guess we'll get a float 3. Actually, I guess it would be. How do I want to make it easy on myself and do? I guess it would be a float 4 because I'm gonna take it from a texture and then pack in the normal, or the output from a texture and then return a float 3. So this would be get a float 4. Okay, and this will be from texture. I guess that defines an input, hopefully. Okay, so now I need to just take the XYZ out of this because we're gonna just disregard the alpha value. And then we need to multiply this by 2 and then subtract 1/2. Oh, right, you have to use the scalar multiplication. Okay, and then this is the output. Okay, so let me see if that works. Okay, so I need to edit. Okay, so unpack normal. Okay, so no, it doesn't have an input. Is it on here? Okay, add a new input. All right, I was looking for a label or something. So this will be from texture. And then from texture. Okay, and this will actually be a float 4. Okay, and if I save that, does it show up? Okay, yeah, it does. So now we can just feed that, and so this will take in an encoded value from the texture and output just a normal vector. So now I also want to have the inverse of this. So pack normal. Okay, I'll go ahead and add an input. So this will be normal. And this will just be a float 3. Okay, and so I need to get float 3. By the way, does this... Okay, it does use the input that I defined. Okay, so now we need to first multiply this by 1/2 and then add 1/2. And this remaps this vector to range from 0 to 1 as textures have to be. So add flip 3. And the last thing I have to do is add in the alpha value, which we'll just set to 1. Flip. All right, so we set that as the output. Okay. So that's good. Yeah, those would be nice to have those functions because we're gonna have to use them. Well, we're gonna have to use unpack normal twice here anyway. So just for that, I think it was useful. Okay. So yeah, we unpack both of them, and now I can add them together, and then normalize this. So that basically takes the average of these two vectors, and then I can pack it back into the function, or into the texture format, and set that as the output. All right, so let's see. Okay. I think it worked. It's kind of subtle, but yeah. So I'm basically looking for, yeah, so there's a gradient over the image, and then also yeah, and then also each blossom has a unique normal vector. Okay, so now I can just feed that into there because I don't need to normalize it because we did that in the pixel processor. Okay, and then that combines these normals with a normal from the height map, which just kind of adds in edges. Do I need to normalize it? I don't know. Okay, well, it's fine. It's not doing any damage there. Okay, so the only thing is they look different than the grass still. They're much lighter. So what would that mean? So if it's lighter, that means they're more pointing, or they're closer to white, which means they're all positive or pointing towards the X, Y, and Z directions, right? So, okay. Okay, yeah, it's not like that until I do this pixel processor, so I think I've done something wrong in that. So I add the vectors together. But this unpack normal is supposed to make sure that they... Maybe I did something wrong here. So... Oh yeah, I think I have to subtract 1 actually. Yeah, so I think that's my problem. Because, let's see, so if from text... Yeah, so if this gives us... If it's 0, 0, 0, for example, then we multiply... Yeah, so it should... Yeah, so if the texture value is 0, 0, 0, the output value should be -1, -1, -1, but it's actually -1/2. So yeah, I did that math incorrectly. Okay, so that's better, except the background is kind of weird. I don't know if that actually is going to matter. I guess it doesn't because it looks fine here. Yeah, technically the background should be this like neutral normal periwinkle color. But I think what's happening is it's averaging with the background of this, which is nothing. I guess I could fix that if I really cared by setting that. Yeah. I don't think it actually mattered, but be careful. Okay, and now the bluebonnets seem to have a similar, like normal distribution to the grass. So let's try it out and see. All right. Yeah, so the fact that it's kind of hard to make them out shows that we're on the right track, I think. Okay. Let's see how it looks with actual colors instead of using that normal vector. Okay. Not a whole lot of different, but that's mostly because the normal map is pretty much used only for specular lights for this grass. Which I have the specular strength turned down. But anyway, okay, let's add some wind back in. And let's add in some more curvature. Okay, you have to be kind of careful with the curvature when you're working with these billboards because you can see right here, they tend to like filter in between each other. So I usually don't put too much curvature on it. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay. Yeah, the level of detail blending is really obvious. Yeah, that probably won't work too well with this feature. Let's see. think if I turn it off though, they're gonna pop in and out. So I'm not sure what the best. The best thing to do might be to turn off the level of detail dimension scaling. All right, currently don't have an option to do that, but either that or maybe make it start really soon so that it's kind of slow. Yeah, that seems to work better. I don't notice it quite as much. Yeah, if you really look at it, you can kind of see the grass blades growing as you get closer. But it's not super obvious. It probably would be more obvious if I look down, and that's just because if you look down, the level of detail changes quicker. I don't know, it's not too bad. Yeah, I guess people can mess with this as they need to. Anyway, that's not really what I'm trying to work on tonight. So yeah, still the flowers are pretty flat. So I'm gonna see if I can add a little bit more detail to them, I think. I mean, they don't look bad. They look just like kind of stylized little flowers, which is fine. But I think I can make them look a little better. I mean, it's hard to avoid the flatness completely when you're working with this kind of billboard thing because, I mean, if you get close, it's obvious that all these grass are sharing one texture. But you can get really thick grass pretty cheaply this way, so I wanted to try to showcase it. Okay, so what do I want to do? Okay, so one thing is this normal map is really flat, so it'd probably be better if I kept in these gradients a little longer. I think one problem is when I was making these shapes, I was kind of using the same technique I used for the grass blades, which is fine for them because grass blades are mostly flat, but these petals actually have a shape. So probably I just shouldn't do these histogram scans right here and leave a bit. Okay, well, I guess I still have to do something, but I just don't turn up the contrast quite so high. Something like that. Okay, yeah, and then down here the contrast should be up pretty high because that's trying to make the alpha mask, so that's fine. By doing that, I've shrunk this quite a bit. Can I just use this as it is? Okay, yeah, So here I'm trying to create the alpha mask. So something. Isn't quite right. What's going on here? So oh, I see. So I'm trying to make the color mask here. Oh, what does it look like in the final version? It actually doesn't look too bad how it is. Probably a little too big. Um, let's see. So one thing I want to try to do also is on the actual Bluebonnets, the little white dots in the middle are kind of covered up by the front blue petal. So whereas right now that's not really how I've done the shape. So can I? It's hard to see the mask. What's going on now? Okay, so I need to cut out this bottom part. Yes, I think one problem is my graph is a little busy, but so this small part, okay, becomes the bottom of the flower. So I need to cut. Yeah. So these two combine to be the blue parts. Okay, so that's, and this is the white part. So this needs to, I need to cut this out of this. So I guess this should be the background and this should be the foreground. And subtract. Okay. And then that part goes into the red channel. I guess we could just feed that into here and then also here. Okay, now what does that look like? Okay, not too bad. I think the flowers are kind of small in general, but let's see how this looks in Unity. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. All right, that's a little better. Actually, yeah, it looks pretty good. Although now the white is a little bit too big. So yeah, let's see how to fix that. Probably the mask is just, I need to adjust the histogram scan. And I kind of wanted to make, so right now they look just like a bunch of small flowers. It doesn't look like one big bluebonnet. And there's also only going to be one bluebonnet per little billboard. Yeah, I kind of wonder if I've maybe gone about this the wrong way, trying to make the individual like flower petal or flower heads. Maybe I should have tried to make the entire shape. Although, yeah, because then I could have. Because right now I think that the flowers. Uh, I think the scale might be off a little bit. See, so right now, like one flower is basically as wide as a blade of grass, which I think is kind of small. Okay, well here you can't really see the grass because it's all the bluebonnet plants. But yeah, a flower is about as actually well, a flower is about as big as these leaves, so but although it looks fine, it doesn't really look like a bluebonnet, I don't think, because they just look like a bunch of blue flowers. So, yeah, and when you're farther away here, you don't actually see the individual flowers, which this is kind of like the scale that you would see them in the game, I think. So maybe I need to try a different approach. All right, so I'll leave this how it is, but let's make a copy of it. Can I duplicate? All right, let's rename this one to Bluebonnet. I guess head, I don't know. Okay, so here, what I'm going to try to do is, yeah, instead of using, like trying to model each individual flower head, I'm going to try to do the entire flower. Actually, I don't know if you call each little section here a flower or if the entire thing is a flower, but anyway, so I'm going to try to model the entire thing here. So if we look, so there's basically like, yeah, so I'm trying to figure out how I'll make the shape of the actual like flower column, because I don't want to use this like an ellipse, because there's definitely some like shape to it. But so yeah, so I think the blue part will be the most difficult. And then we can basically just add the white cone at the top, and then a bunch of little white polka dots to be the dots in the middle of each flower. But maybe I don't need to worry about being so realistic, because if I look at my grass, it's not very realistic, so maybe I can get away with just doing simple shapes. It's worth a try. So I guess I'll just delete all of this stuff because well, I don't think I'll need it, but if I do need it, I have saved it in this other graph. All right. So I'll use this same technique probably. Yeah, now I can put multiple flowers into the texture if I wanted to. Okay, so let me think. So we've got, I don't even know if we'll see like the stem of it. Although I guess I could make that now. So yeah, we've got the green stem and then this blue blob around it, and then there'll be a white little cone at the top as well as a bunch of white little polka dots. Okay, so I can turn this into a cylinder. And then maybe what I can do is just add some noise to the outside of it to get this kind of pointed look. Okay, so first let's shrink this. And I want to turn off tiling. All right, and then okay, I guess I can go ahead and stretch it now. Although, is that really how I want it to look? It looks, I'd rather it be, it's more like a pyramid, isn't it? Because it starts wide and then goes to the top. So maybe a better way is to start with a rounded triangle. All right, I think that looks better. Okay. Yeah, that's better, I think. All right, so now we have the general blue shape. So what is the next step? So it's like the blue mask. So when we feed it into this, we'll have RGB. So that can go into the red panel. And then we'll have the white mask, which will be for the polka dots. Yeah, and I think I won't worry about the stem right now. We can always add it, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't think we really need the stem if we're gonna have the grass in the background. But we'll see. Maybe it will look weird. Anyway. Okay, so now we need another little cone. I guess I could use the same one. for the white bit at the top. All right, and then that would go. Okay, so right now it's complaining that there's no alpha channel, so to make an alpha channel, I just need to blend basically everything together and then do a histogram. Yeah, so yeah, this doesn't look right already, I can tell, but okay, so basically I want to take away most of the contrast. And then usually it looks good if you blur it and then do another histogram scan. Yeah, I think it's still, you can see there's some black around the edges, so I think I need to contract a little bit. All right. All right, so the top bit is not quite so pointed like that. So let's increase the width. And then I'll bring it down a little bit. Okay, I think that will look better. Okay, so I think this alpha is actually a little bit too constraining at the moment, because probably what I should do is do a histogram scan to expand some of this curvature, but something like what? I don't know. It's hard to tell until we get the actual thing completed. Kind of weird right now. I think mostly, yeah, so this blue part. Oh yeah, so in the old one I had the blue as part, I mean in the green channel, and then the white was the red channel. So I guess I'll just move that back so I don't have to change everything. Alright, so that's looking a little better, although obviously they're too small. Yeah, so we're gonna need to change the way the FX map works. But right now what I need to do is figure out how to add all the polka dots. Right, so basically, it's almost just like a tile sampler. So can I just do that? Yeah, so if we did, let's just do an input pattern actually, so I can change this how I want. So shape, we'll use, I don't know, it's fine. Okay, so let's see something. Let's do 4x4 for now. And so I've got to transform them so they kind of fit onto this shape. Let's add a little bit of randomness. Just a little bit. We might want some color random so that certain ones are darker, but let's just leave it like this for now. Alright, so now I need to transform it. How would I... Yeah, so this only works for simple. I don't think I can do skew transformations here, because well, we can rotate, but what I need to like bring in the tops so that the bottom, or so that it matches the what's it called, this triangle more. I guess skew's not correct either, because it's going to do something like that. So what, maybe I just need to do a deform. What's it called? Warp, I think. No, I guess I want directional warp. And okay, so the thing is I want it to warp a different color on the different sides because I need to make it fit a triangle, or warp a different direction on the different sides. And I think I can only input in an intensity. Maybe this is what I need. Multi-directional warp. Okay, I don't know how this one works, so let's check it out. Multi-directional warp applies directional warp multiple times in opposite directions while the displaced texture stays in place. It differs from the standard warp in that it can push in multiple directions, whereas the atomic version only allows for one. In this way, it solves the classic problem where directional warp always seems to push our image away too much in a single direction instead of working along multiple directions. Blah, blah, blah. It differs mainly from non-uniform directional warp in that it is slightly more limited. The direction for the warp is only controlled through parameters and cannot be set through an input map. The advantage is it is slightly easier to use and can be more precise depending on your use case. Okay, so we input the bit to warp and then an intensity. Okay. Sets the angle or direction in which to apply warp effect. Sets the blend mode for consecutive passes. Sets how many axes the warp works. 1 means it moves in the direction of axle, and opposite. 2 means axis angle plus perpendicular. Okay, this doesn't actually do what I need, I don't think. Okay, so I think I need this one, the non-uniform directional warp. Non-uniform warp is an advanced version. Allows the intensity and direction of the warp to be driven by an image. It allows for more control and can be very useful and interesting in image distortion in the same vein as slope blur. Okay, so this, yeah. Don't need that one, but that allows control over the angle through a custom map input, whereas multi-directional warp only allows direction to be controlled through parameters. Okay, so we got the intensity input and then the warp angle input. Okay, this is kind of more complicated than I wanted. Isn't there? Oh, trapezoid transform. This is exactly what I need, I think. Glad I found that by just coincidence. Okay, so I think what I can do is this, and then you can do a transformation 2D to get it to roughly be over the blue bit. Alright, let's change this to absolute and turn off tiling. Okay. So what'll happen is we'll add this to the top and it'll be part of the white mask. So I guess I'll just go ahead and do that so I can kind of see what's going on a little better. So we want to do max. Okay, so I need to move it downwards. And also shrink the whole thing. Okay, that's pretty good, except let's edit this. So I'd really like it to bow out towards the middle. So I think what I can do is after we do the trapezoid thing, let's also do a warp. Something like this. Okay, no, that's not working. Okay, so this doesn't work because I need it to be different on both sides. Maybe maybe I can just do this and then mirror it. That might be the easiest way. Look, you get this ugly bits in the middle. well, yeah, the disc isn't the right shape anyway. But I could just do a slider. I don't know, it almost looks... Well, okay, these dots are pretty regular. Maybe it's this shape that's wrong because... I don't know. Not doing it for me. Maybe I should see how it looks in the finished product. Okay, that's really strange, but no, also, yeah, it's not, again, it's just like I forgot to add the little spikes on the side. But I guess let's edit the FX map real quick. Yeah, we don't have a normal map at all, but I'll worry about that later. So what I want to do here, okay, so let's change the number of iterations. So basically they'll, I don't know, between 1 and 3 maybe. You don't need too many, I don't think. And then for all these, so this is what I was trying to place it, but now I basically will just place it somewhere randomly in the image. Okay. So rand. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, so this will be the width. And then I need to do something for the height as well. And then add them into a float 2. Okay, not swizzle. Called vector float 2. Okay, now I need to add 1/2 so that it's centered correctly. Don't know how they got off the grid there. All right, so I think this is all I have to do that. So I just pass that through. And then, so the size I want pretty small right now. Let's, something like this, I guess. Okay, and then yeah, we'll have a small rotation, maybe a little less than that because they generally point upwards. Oops. All right. Okay, so I did something wrong because it's not even showing up. Okay, so what this... So I think the thing is I need to set this to basically the maximum. And what this is doing is just giving us depth for each flower. So each subsequent iteration will have more, it'll be darker. So it'll have more depth on it. But that's not the issue either. So it's probably has something to do with the position. So this, both of these will give us a value between -2 or -0.2 and 0.2. And then I add 1/2 to it. I think that should work. Oh, I don't know why it's not. Let's just output 1/2 and see if anything shows up. Okay, so something is down here in the corner. What have I done? I think this is fine. Yeah, just add a small random radius and then pick the percentage we are to the maximum iterations, which we have is 3. Yeah, so here we fix a random number between 1 and 3. Something is drawing. I mean, I assume it's the position, but I'm just telling it to output in the middle. Didn't really change anything else here. Okay, well, it was... Yeah, stuff was passing through before. Is that the pattern size, maybe? Okay, well, now they're down in the corner again. Okay, so they start to show up when I turn on tiling. Is it centered on 0? Okay, I guess that's what it is. Which is kind of weird because that's not how UVs work, but okay. Alright, well I guess that was it. So I don't need these two. Okay, that's too small for sure. Okay, and I think it's still rotating too much. Okay. Oh, now it's kind of going through, although yeah, I don't like the way this looks. But I mean, is it salvageable? Alright, so transparency, preserve coverage, and then turn off sRGB for the data, and then set this to a normal map. And then I need to add them to the texture arrays. Oh, that was the wrong one. Yeah, they don't look really like Bluebonnets. They're kind of more like alien spaceships. But I mean, maybe it's not too far. I think mostly the issue is the dots are positioned too regularly. They don't match the outline of the flower. The little top bit is too big. These blue outlines around the small shape or small circles don't look good. And then yeah, there's no feathering. Alright, so let's take care of one at a time, I guess. I think I'm gonna just turn off the dots for now, and let's get the flower head looking as good as possible. Alright, so yeah, we'll move all this stuff up there. Just forget about it for now. Okay, so first off, yeah, so the top is too big. So I just need to shrink this mask. Okay, I think both of them. The only thing is I need to think about the normal map, but because I need to, I guess I need to have these smooth shapes for the normal map, kind of. But okay, let's not worry about that just yet. So we'll histogram, scan it. Okay, well, it's still pretty big, so I need to shrink it some more. I can do that by just put down on the position. Okay, and then I think I should do the same thing for the, I guess, the main flower head. Oops. Alright, so now I go a little overboard with the alpha, I think. Okay, that seemed to fix it, I think. Alright, so let's export it and see if that looks a little better in Unity. Okay. Still something's weird about it. I guess these little cones. Okay, maybe it's not too bad. I don't know. I think it's still just a little too big. Alright, I think that ratio is a little better. Kind of look like eggplants, but I think it'll look better when the flower part isn't so bulbous. Also, the scaling is a little off with the grass, isn't it? Yeah, because I think, well, these grass blades are just kind of big, but maybe that's just the style. I don't know. I mean, I can increase the number or this decrease the size of the blades pretty easily, so I don't have to worry about it too much. Okay, let's see. So I guess the next big thing is I need to add those little spikes on the side of the, I guess the blue part. I'm not sure what to call it. So how would I do that? I guess I should make stripes and then maybe warp it to kind of match the shape and then yeah, so I need to determine the spike somehow is what I'm trying to think. Alright, well let's try to make one shape of it and then I can tile it. Alright. It's the wrong polygon node. Okay, so if I multiply these together, how will that look? Okay, not too bad. And then I can adjust the way this looks with curve and the gradient. Okay, so now I need to add this onto the shape. First I should tile it maybe. They're too far apart. Okay, I think the way to fix that is to do a transformation. Stretch the height. Too much. Okay. See. Yeah, something like that's fine. Okay, so for maybe I can maybe I can use a scale map input to have it kind of map the or match the dimensions of this eggplant shape. Okay, I've never messed with that kind of thing. I could do this in an FX map as well, but I think the tile sampler might be good enough. So let's take the opportunity to learn about that. Hill vector map. Okay, this will actually tell you what these maps do. Okay. What's this? Okay, so basically what I want it to do is kind of follow a gradient. Okay, that doesn't seem to do anything. Oh, okay, so it's because it was at the 0, so it just is disregarding it. Okay, so that actually works relatively how I thought it might. What happens if I actually just feed this into it? Okay, interesting. That's not too far off. So now if I would like to do like a directional warp to have it then bend a little bit. We'll do another gradient and then rotate this one. Tell it. Okay, so it's 270 degrees. Okay, so I don't like that bump in the middle, although I guess it doesn't really matter because I don't think it will be visible. Alright, so now can I blend those together? Something like that, although obviously they're too wide, but clean this up a little bit. Okay, so that's kind of the idea, but obviously I need to work on it a little bit. Okay. So yeah, before I warp it, I need to darken the ones towards the edge. Also, they're too wide. Okay, so probably the way to fix both of those, well, I could do a transformation 2D node to shrink their width. Oh, come on. And I need to turn off piling. Okay, and then I also, yeah, they're too thick right now, so we can change that by adding a bunch more. Okay, that's kind of interesting. And then I want to blend them with this gradient. So yeah, they're darker towards the edges. something like that. Oh, we're on the right track, I think. It's looking a bit too robotic. Okay, I think it needs more warp, I think. Okay, but the problem with this is that it's starting to push the whole thing down. So yeah, we also need to do a histogram scan here. I wish. Yeah, it's not really a curve. It's more just like a ramp. I thought that this would be more curved, but apparently this gradient, I guess that makes sense, it's linear. So how would I get a more, I guess I could just use the shape node. And then if I just set the size really big, then it's kind of gonna work. Unfortunately, not giving me the right effect. Okay, I think that's starting to look better. There we go. So I need to just increase the scale so that the rounding was a little bigger, and then, or increase the size. All right, let's see. Okay, it's not too bad. It's still like a little, it looks mechanical, I think, because the spikes, they don't follow the gradient of the flower as much as I'd want them to be. Yeah, because they're kind of just flat all around. So maybe I need to make this a little bit more powerful. And also this part. Don't think that had the right effect. looks a little better, except the alpha map is messed up, but I think we're finally getting there, but now they're too thin. Okay, let's increase the height. All right. Yeah, that's actually not too bad. Let's see how it looks in game. Okay. Yeah, I think we're actually starting to get there. One thing I don't think, I think that this is too flat. So how can I fix that? If that works, it was a really easy fix. Yeah, that actually looks pretty good. Okay, let's try outputting this. Okay. Yeah, I think that's better. It looks, because before it was starting to look like a kind of like a bug a little bit, but now it's more like a flower. I hope. Okay. So one thing, so we have like the spikes for the shape, but in the color, you don't really see them. But that might be too much detail. Probably, how could I fix that? So right now, I guess the bulb shape really overpowers the legs. Maybe I could fix that by adjusting their levels a bit. Can you just like add, subtract? Multiply won't work, obviously. I don't want to, it's starting to look pretty good, so I don't want to break it too much. I guess I don't really want stripes in it. I kind of just want more shape in this. Oh, this color technique is a little strange. But it doesn't look too bad in the final product. But there's these weird banding here because the normal... Okay, this doesn't look too bad, but when I put it through the levels, so I need to... Yeah, like this one's pretty bad. I guess these work best with pretty deep normals instead of having it this smooth. Which I guess I could fix that by increasing the contrast instead of having a smooth gradient there. All right, but anyway, let's see. Let's try to add back in the dots now. Because, yeah, that's really the main thing that's keeping it from looking like a flower. I mean, this tutorial... Yeah, it's... I'm not going to make a tutorial about making bluebonnet flowers, so... I don't need to... I'm probably spending too much time on it, but I don't know. I think it'll look pretty cool, I think, once we get the whole thing done. Alright, so what I want to do... Add that back in now. Okay, so they're all... It's the wrong shape. Excuse me. Drink that a little bit, maybe. Okay, that's not too bad, except I need to increase the size a bit more. Okay, I just want it. I want it to be have more curvature here, I think. But if I'm not careful, then I get these kind of weird bits. But I think it needs to be curved more to match the shape of the bulb. It's kind of messy. It's not too bad. Except now, yeah, I just noticed that the white bulb on top is starting to get too big again. We can fix that. But also, I want to get rid of this part here, so I'm just going to do that for now. Because the blue bit is kind of... doesn't look that good. Most of the ugliness comes from the whites overlapping itself. Also, I just noticed since I mirrored it, oh yeah, that doesn't look good either. Yeah, because now the spots on both sides, like it's a perfect mirror. So I think that's one of the reasons why it's not looking too good. So how can I don't know how to. And also when I'm warping it, I'm smushing these circles, which it's not really what I want to do. I want it to instead, I'd rather them still be perfect circles, but just placed in a specific pattern. Yeah, because each of these little square or circles is about the same shape, even when you're looking at them from an angle. So maybe I need to use an FX map. Which is kind of... I mean, I guess it's fine, but... There's like a... There's a displacement map input. What happens if I... Okay. So again, you can't like push it inward. Or you can't like... It's just one direction, basically. So I can't like have them be smushed towards the center. Maybe this vector... That would be what the vector map is for. Oh yeah, that's not gonna work. I'm trying to think the best way. I just realized my lighting is making me look quite sunburnt. I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. I mean, I could just go to the FX map, but the problem is it's hard to like place something regularly in that. Oh. Yeah, the dots definitely are regular. I mean, honestly, the Bluebonnets are basically cylinders, so... Yes, maybe... I don't need to do all this warping. I at least need this part. And turn off tiling because I need to be able to position it on the... Okay, so maybe this is fine and I just... give the position or make sure it has a random position, which it does. So that way you don't notice the grid quite as much. I think this is probably too much, but... Okay, so how come? Also, the top part has gotten big again, which I thought I fixed already. Oh, I'm feeding the wrong thing into there. Okay, yeah, so that should fix that problem. Okay, so the white parts are too strong, and I guess that's just because this mask just needs a little editing. So if I do, let's see, what was the top part? Oh, no, the top part's fine. It's the circles, so they just need a histogram scan. All right, and then down the line. Okay, that is pretty good. Probably could do more, but yeah, I need to. Like I said, this tutorial isn't on Bluebonnets, so I just trying to get something pretty to show. All right, okay, let's see it in Unity. Okay, the dots look a little bit too regular. So maybe I'll add back in some more randomness like I had. But it looks pretty good. I think it'll look better with more variety because right now there's always that single bluebonnet. So I think I might test that out soon. Let's add back in some more random here. Okay, I think that's better. All right, and now the other big thing we need to do is the normal map. Okay, so what was all this stuff? Okay, so this was the random vector, and then this one was the normal mask. Can I just like create a normal out of this? What does it give me? Oh, okay. So the weird thing about that is that the dots are contributing a lot to the normal, which I probably shouldn't. So let's just blend this and the top hat. And feed that into the normal vector. Okay, and then so this goes into there, right? Except I need to add an alpha. Okay. And then this one is just the random vector, so I need to output the alpha mask. Okay, and for both of them I need the normal color, which is just the default normal periwinkle. Okay, so why? Oh, okay. So for one thing, I need to match all this stuff. So I think I can just copy it and then copy it into the other FX maps. This is kind of annoying. I wish that there was a better way to do this, but in Substance Designer, I think this is the best way that you can handle this kind of thing. Wait, am I doing? Yeah, I'm doing the wrong thing. This is color. I need to edit this part. Okay. All right, and then I also need to edit the iterations. So I think I said 1 to 3 heads. Okay. Yeah, so now they match up, I think. Oops. Although this doesn't seem to be outputting any color. Oh, it's because I'm giving it a grayscale and it needs a color image. Doesn't give you an error when that happens. Oh, yeah, so I could just do a channel shuffle, I think is the simplest way. All right, there we go. Okay, the normals seem to be not as pronounced. Oh yeah, also this has this weird halo around it. That's probably from using the alpha. Oh right, I can just use, yeah, I had the same issue before. I can just use since I pretty much just want to use the alpha channel, I can just use a white. Pure white color. Um, oh yeah, and then I need to set the alpha to be the input 2. Okay, so there we go. I don't really like how the normal has little white dots in it. But I don't think I can easily change it, and the normal really just affects it doesn't affect shading, it just affects the specular highlight. Although for this, that'd be interesting. For this specific shader, maybe the normal vector should affect shading more because we have some extra foliage, like some more shape to the foliage, so I might look into that. Anyway, what else do I need to do here? I think that's it for the normal vector. How's it look? It seems kind of flat. Increase the intensity here. Okay, that's a little better. Although, okay, well, it doesn't have as crisp edges because yeah, it's smooth. It doesn't have just a drop off that the grass does. So, all right, and then down here in the data, the only problem is this blend node, because the blend node doesn't really work well with the alpha, which is this ambient occlusion. So I think I need to handle that differently. Let me see. So basically I need to get rid of the alpha. And also here, I should just output white. Okay, and then these alpha channels, I just need to blend them separately and then merge it back with the main one. Okay, actually this is background, that's the foreground, and the mask is this. Okay, and then alpha merge. Oh gosh, this area is getting really messy. Okay, there we go. That fixes that problem. Not that you really even notice anything, but okay. Now what would happen if I made this shader have the use the normal as the terrain normal? I don't think it will look okay. It's not quite as bad as I thought. I'm not sure if it really gives the flowers any more dimension than before, but yeah, the normal is these weird scratches. Oh, it's on the grass too, actually. So what happens if I move? Okay, so there is a little bit of dimension given by the normal vector, which is nice, although I need to, if I'm gonna do something like this, I need to work more with the normal map for sure. But anyway, yeah, I don't know if I'll work on that too much because it's kind of, I guess, yeah, at some point I need to call it quits on this shader. I guess what I'm trying to think, when is the right time to do that? Because right now, so this lighting style looks good for grass, but it would be nice to have a little bit more shading on the flower because it's more like a 3D thing, but we are kind of just like using this grass system for flowers too, where for actual flower you might want to use like a 3D object would look better anyway because yeah, we're kind of faking it. So I don't know. But maybe there is some way that I can combine the diffuse from the flower. I don't know. I mean, let's see. There's definitely some shadows, but I mean, basically the flower looks almost flat shaded because, again, it's translucent, so the sun just shines through it. So maybe if I tried to do anything more to it, it would just look unnatural. So anyway, yeah, I'm just kind of thinking out loud. All right, before we end the stream, let's try to make a bunch more variations of these two types. And then I'll edit the shader to choose between or just randomly choose between the different variations of the grass and the bluebonnet. And then I might call this, well, I think I need to work a little bit more on the ground texture, but then I think I'll just call this showcase. I mean, it looks pretty good. I mean, you could keep working on it forever, but okay, so what I need to do, sorry, this is version 0, and we'll change the random seed and find one that I like the look of. Okay, I had the wrong thing selected, I guess. Okay, I like that one. Let's export it as number 1. This one was good. I guess you can't have, I guess, because before I did random random number between 1 and 3 for the number of flower heads, but I guess it's exclusive, so it doesn't actually include the 3. But yeah, that's fine. Okay, and so let's do the same for a different grass. Okay, that one's good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this grass texture. I don't know. I want to work more on the bluebonnet, but yeah, maybe we will. But for now, I think I'll just move on. Okay, so now we have a bunch more textures. So we select each of the albedo channels, and you set it to sRGB. Alpha is transparency, preserve bitmaps, and then clamp linear. And then for the normal normal maps, you've got to set them all to normal map type and clamp linear. And for the data textures, you just need to turn sRGB off and also do clamp and trilinear. Okay, and now I just need to add everything up into our texture arrays. So we'll need 8 values. The first 4 I'm going to do as the, oops, I did it exactly backwards. I want to do the grass cluster cards as the first 4. Okay. because it starts at 0. And then the last 4 will be the Bluebonnets. Okay, and so now we're going to do it for the data maps and the normal map. Is that right? Yeah. And last but not least, the normal maps. Okay, and you might also okay, this sometimes happens, but did I think maybe I did something wrong, but I was gonna say it can't import them because they're different texture types. What have I done differently? Oh, I thought I set them all to be normal maps. Did I not apply that? Yeah, they should all be normal maps. Maybe it doesn't let you do that? Why? Okay, well, I guess that's good to know. It won't let you automatically change the type of multiple, I guess if it's not the same type. But anyway, now they're all normal maps and it should not complain anymore. Yeah, it's happy now. And you might wonder why normal maps show up as blue here, but then pink here. That's just because Unity does some kind of behind the scenes work to encode them in a special way that just works well for normal maps, but they kind of hide it from you in the editor. So it shows up as your normal texture, but then here it shows up in the special encoded way. But yeah, that's normal. All right. Okay, so right now it's not going to work because it only chooses between texture indexes 0 and 1, which are both grass. So if I need to edit the shader. Soil flower patch. Alright. Okay, so we'll just use this. So yeah. Texture index. I'll do something a little bit hacky here, but I think it will work okay. So I have this function get grass texture index, which just picks a random value based on the seed and the number of textures. So we'll do that, and then I'll add for if flower noise is greater than this value. So which just means it should be a flower. So I use a snapped position as the random seed, and then the number of textures is num. I forget what the variable was, but I'll come back to that. And then we'll just add if flower noise is greater than the threshold, then we'll add this value to it. Otherwise, you don't add anything. Okay. So it was, oh yeah, num texture layers. And this is a slightly modified version of my grass soil shader that just does that little flower pattern. Okay, so yeah, now we have 4 per type. Right, there we go. So now it should randomly pick. Yeah, we can see all different variations of the bluebonnet texture that we've rendered out, 4 to be specific. Same with the grass, you can kind of see variations. Alright, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I need to work on the ground texture, I think, because it doesn't really blend super well. And you can tell in the foreground. But in general, I think, yeah, I think I'm done messing with the textures. Because like I said, I could work on it forever, but we've got, I mean, if I really wanted to, which, I don't know. We made this, but it might be better if I just do a more traditional flower because it will just look, it might look a little better. I don't know. This Bluebonnet's not horrible, but it's, not the best. So for my showcase, I might just want to do a more traditional flower, but I don't know. We'll see how I feel in the morning. But yeah, but with that, technically I have about 2 more minutes, but this is a pretty good stopping point. So I think I'll go ahead and sign off. Yeah, thanks everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. Yeah, sorry. Well, I guess. Thank you for putting up with my being gone last week. But yeah, I plan to stream regularly from now on. But yeah, I'll put some links in chat if you enjoyed the stream. Feel free to reach out to me on social media if you'd like to chat anytime during the day. We did just get threads on my Discord server, which is kind of cool. I don't know if anybody has heard about that, but I think it'll be really nice for the support channel anyway. But yeah, I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 p.m. US Eastern Time, and I hope to see you on Friday. So yeah, have a great day, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.